Today we're gonna work on a Toyota Corolla. This is what it looks like right out of the pick and pull. We're gonna rebuild this today. Out here in RC, Auto Electric. These are most of the tools that you're gonna need right here. With the exception of maybe like a screwdriver, maybe some other little gizmos here and there, but for the most part, those are gonna be your bread and butter for this. So we start off by liberating the solenoid. So we're just trying to remove this, pull this out, whichever way you can. Use your number 8. With 2 bolts. These are a little bit different in the sense that when you take off this plastic cover piece, you see on the bearing there is seguro. So the brush holder is held by these screws right here. So we're not going to take these off. We're just going to use a hammer. So once it's loose like this, you can pull it right out. You see on this side, there's a cover. This just comes right off. This also comes out right here. These are all your magnets. And you're just left with the armature and the brushes. We'll just put this aside for now. We pull out these gears. We usually here in RC we make sure that nothing on the planetary track is broken. Otherwise, this needs to be replaced. But sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So now we're gonna take out the solenoid. And like this. Take it loose, like that. This is what's inside. Solenoid. And this thing here. Use a hammer, and this should just come right out. What was wrong with this thing? And then finally, look at this part here. So you can come over to our next section here. You don't want to brace this, you want to brace it right on the tip. So we're going to liberate these screws here. You use another one. This might be the trickiest part about rebuilding this, but in the kits we'll include 2 or 3 of these little guys because they're not the easiest guys to take out. So the idea is to not damage the bearing also taking out this locking brace there. There it is. So it looks like this. Common mistake people do is that they think that this is not even necessary. That there's an extra one in there. And you don't have to take it out now, but you can. This is very important. So we'll put that on a magnet here. This you can get rid of. You replace this once it's like this, it won't come back on. So now we're going to take out the brush holder. And this comes right up. So what we're seeing here is the real, possibly the culprit of why it was failing is once these brushes wear down, there's no more contact being made. This also has a lot to do with it. This is what the armature looks like. We don't want to wash this. We're going to be putting things in the washer, so we don't want any liquid to be getting into any of these bearings. So what we have to do, we have to take this bearing out. So the way we do that here, put it on a surface. We have a custom tool out of an old 1960s Chevy armature. Just put it right in the center. There shouldn't be any dents. It should look fairly pretty much like this. If it's darker or if it's green, if it's all dirty, it's no problem. You can always just add grease to them again, and it'll be as good as new. This goes into the washing area. Another thing I wanted to share was be sure to remember to take out this piece out of your old brush holder, because these new brush holders, they don't have this extra piece here. So what you want to do, it's pretty easy. You just pull back this plastic, put it in place, and you put the plastic back on. And that's it. Your brush holder is ready for assembly. This is how the other one looked in comparison. So what we're going to do next, we're going to clean up the armature. We're going to wash up the parts. We already have our replacement parts. We already have our solenoid. We already have a brush holder. So now all we need now is just to wash everything, get it all spiffy, and then assembling it back together. Stay tuned. So we don't wash these. We'll just put these
Do not wash the armature.
Simón, aquí hacemos el cotorreo, jefe. Regularmente entre 1 hora a 2 horas máximo. Estamos aquí en la 15, por el 15001 Sur Atlantic, entre el Atlantic y la Campton Boulevard. Vale, a usted que lo vaya bien. bit I didn't show because it takes quite a bit to get this out. But pretty much what you want to do is this piece is there, this piece is over that. Pretty much what you want to do is reverse, do the opposite of this. Will already be on there. You hold it down onto the groove. There's a groove right in there. Hold it like this. Use just regular pliers and press it down. Raise this piece up, hold it, and don't do it right where these two meet. You want to do it back here. You're all set. This is what it looks like at the end. You don't want this to jump. So sometimes they jump and then they go click, 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 click. When they do that, that's because the drive is no good. Okay, so your desk should look like this. So we start here. All we pretty much do, we follow our steps. So we start off with the housing. Places right there. And you also want to make sure that these two are meeting right there as well. So it's going to set like this. This is what it sets. This is the mechanism it does. You put the gears. Getting some grease. You don't need too much, just enough to get it going. Rotate it. Look at this piece. I don't know if you can see that, but there are like these tiny little grooves right there. So you want this piece to go right on one of those grooves. And we will do that right now. This is probably the trickiest part, or one of the trickiest parts. You want this to land perfectly flat on one of those screws. Look like this. Look at our new solenoid. We match this part to this part. And then there's a piece right there where this matches to. Hammer. Hold on. You want it to be perfectly, or as perfect as humanly possible. Now, for the tough part. We get first, actually, we gotta go to our helper.
Díganle un saludo al YouTube.
Saludos al youtuber.
This little washer, put it right in there. Stick it right in there. This is gonna be the hardest part. This is where you brace. This is where the depression kicks in. So you have to hold it with one hand, and then with the other, wow, put it right in there. And for some reason it gets harder and harder the more times you try. Pointy pliers. You want this to be as tight as possible. And you want to pull down as much as you can. Because you don't want it to get undone when it gets put inside the car. That would be the worst thing in the world. So there it is. Put your cover. And you're done as far as this part goes. It's right in here. This is right on this opening. Make sure it's lined up correctly. Put your number 8. Tighten up these ones in the front. Alright, so you also have a solenoid right in there. Like so. Then you get your number 13. It's complete. Follow me, let's see if it works.
Dale, yo el cabrón un poquito. Pintó el verdadero terror. Ahí está. Yo lo puedo trancar. No, está bueno. Todo casi igual, de hacerlo directo hace lo mismo, a la misma velocidad.
So, this is something me and my brother, we want to take off and we want to make more material. We're just doing some feelers. We love what we do. Support the channel, subscribe, give us a thumbs up or comments if you have any. Maybe there's ways out there that you guys are doing things, and we're always looking to improve on our craft. We're always looking for that. So stay tuned for the next video.